What is up? We are doing another Rocket League replay review today. This time we're going to be reviewing my friend Dalton. Dalton is probably a low plat, maybe high gold. I'm not entirely sure, but we were playing some 2v2 the other day. He requested that I do this review here. Um, I'll just say right off the bat that something I've noticed playing with Dalton is that one of his things he needs to work on is it seems like he's always out of position. He's either way too close to the ball or way too far away. So I think that's going to be the main focus of this one here. So let's get started. The AFK kickoff, that's a classic Dalton move. Um, if I were Dalton, tip number one, be ready to go on kickoff. He actually does this quite a lot. Positioning was decent there, I think. Nice beat there. Sorry, that'll happen. I like the idea. It's just a mechanical error. I think your positioning was pretty fine for that first sequence there. Nice little dunk on kickoff. Yeah, you cheated up a little bit too far here. So when the ball is bouncing like this, and it's bouncing either towards the opponents or I mean, let me rephrase. When it's not bouncing away from the opponents, so it's kind of like bouncing stationary or bouncing towards them, you have to recognize that's when their potential to hit the ball is at its high, or potential to hit the ball hard is at its highest, right? So you need to fully be expecting that this is going to get banged right into your net here. So you need to be already like at this point you should not even have your nose be facing um, the opponent's goal. Like you should have the nose turned around, like ready to save like a banger on the backboard or potentially in the net here. So it doesn't even get hit that hard, right? So this ball is falling maybe like on the 25% percentile of the field, like halfway between our net and midfield, but you're still too close to it. So like if you went up to like aerial, you'd probably you know overshoot it, like you'd fly underneath it or something. Close shot, pretty good shot. I'm a little bit of whiffs from your boy here. Okay, pretty good positioning. Yeah, so like this right here. Where are you going? Why are you going so far back here? Right here, I guess like it's potential like a 50, so you should be driving back. Right, waiting for my touch. You kind of, as soon as you get it back on here, like I kind of have the potential to get dunked right now. Um, so it's fine to like kind of keep your nose facing towards our net. But as soon as this happens, like as soon as I get my second hit, there's no need to just linger by our net here. You should be pushing up to midfield, like ready to follow up on the next touch here. Like at this point, you should like almost be about like ready to hit the ball. You know what I mean? Like you should definitely be past midfield. You should definitely be beating Ethanos to the ball here if you were positioned correctly. Good challenge. So I like as soon as you recognize that you're beat here, right? So you kind of slow down. I think it's a good thought process. You're last man right now, which means like your teammate, which is me, is not behind you. So if you get beat here, it's basically an open net for the opponents. So I like your decision to hesitate a little bit, and then you actually decide to challenge as soon as I come behind you here. So your timing on the challenge was very good. And you got a really nice 50 as well. Okay. You spend a little, something I'm noticing too is when you like coming back, You spend a little bit too long in car cam. Like you see that you're lined up with the boost right here, so you just have to keep driving straight. There's no need to stay in car cam to just drive straight, right? You can switch over to ball cam so that even though you can just continue driving straight while you're in ball cam, but you kind of see what's happening, and so you kind of just are ready to anticipate what's going to come next as soon as you grab the boost. Okay, not bad. Nice. So let's see what happens here. Rewinding just to see, just to dissect the score here. So they get a clear. The clear is so far away that they can't really follow it up, right? So it comes to your hit, and you don't get a great hit. Like you're just kind of hitting it into the corner. So this is a really like one like, and I don't want to talk too much about this, but I'm just kind of dissecting this. But you basically give him a ball here that's a pretty good setup for him, but and unfortunately for Sage of 69 paths, he just gets a like probably the worst touch imaginable. He gets a touch that is basically like a center and a touch that it's kind of awkward for him to follow up since he's so directly underneath this ball. So that's pretty much entirely on Sage here. I don't really blame Ethanos for getting a little aggressive. Of course, I'm very conservative, so I probably would never be as aggressive as Ethanos was there, but I digress. Let me look at this again. I really like to cheat up on the kickoffs to kind of like in this situation, if you had cheated up instead of just lingered in the net, like this would not be a problem because you could just 50 this or even beat Sage of 69 pass to the ball here. But because you linger in net, all of a sudden you're kind of in this awkward 1v1 with no momentum. I don't know what this single jump is. I'm assuming that was just a like a misclick. And he just ends up kind of just giving the ball away. So it's all good. Like why are you breaking right here? You're killing your momentum and speed. You see that Ethanos is not gonna hit this ball. Like it's pretty much only I'm gonna follow up this ball, right? Like Sage of 69 passes, the ball is basically behind him now and he has no momentum. I'm way closer to the ball than Ethanos. There's no reason to be breaking right here because one, like it just puts you out of position, but then also it kills your momentum and your speed, which is crucial in this game. Okay, so I'm hitting this ball right. As soon as I get this touch, though, you should know, like, okay, Ethanos is going to clear this. I need to be ready for it. And you spend like a full second continuing to drive forward still. Like at this point, you should already be turned around, your nose facing our goal, right? If this was on net, this would be a goal for them right now. Like there's literally no, you cannot like hope that Ethanos is just gonna miss this ball and give you an open net. Like play the probabilities, right? Like 99% chance he clears it over you right here. 1% chance he misses, right? Push this again. I think it was fine to go for this. There's also I just want to note I don't think it's horrible to go to this, but just I hope you know like this is really no threat. Like you don't see the other orange team member on this side of the field, right? So he doesn't really have an angle to shoot the ball. And you see me already in the corner. So just as a general note, it's especially in 2v2, it's really sketchy sometimes to put you and your teammate both in the same corner together. But having said that, like I don't think this is terrible to go for here. Um, just due to the fact that the one of the orange teammates was like not in a very threatening position. So a lot of like this happens a lot to you, and the reason I feel like the reason that hurts you so much is you break in reverse, and it just kills all your momentum and you can't really do anything from there. And so I think it's two things. Like it's the position you're putting yourself in. Like you get a little bit too caught upfield, and so you have to break and start reversing. Um, and it like as soon as you break and you start reversing in this situation, it's over, right? As long as Sage of 69 Paths just puts a shot on target, like it's gonna be in. So you basically just have to hope he whiffs. But let me look at what you could do differently here. So here, like a 50 is coming, right? And I think I just get cleanly beat here, right? It's not even 50, but like so every single, and I guess you're in car cam too, so you don't see this. Like another thing, just try to get a bit more comfortable staying in ball cam. But right here, okay, incoming potential 50, right? You need to like prepare for the worst case scenario, which is literally me missing the 50 entirely, right? What happens? Me missing the 50 entirely. Like you need to be ready for this ball to come flying at our net here. But you kind of just like you get like this is just a really bad like position that you put yourself in here. Like if this ball's in our net, then there's no way that you can save this really, right? So I think the best thing is like you're driving like this, right? What the heck? Is this not fly cam? Hold on. Okay, so you're driving like this on the ground here. And then you brake right here, and then you like reverse. But instead, like what you need to do is just as you're driving back here, you can either just slow down, right? So at least you still keep some momentum going this way. So it's just easier to make saves and hit the ball. Or if you're already at this point right here, like just turn around. Don't brake and like reverse, but just like literally keep driving forward and turn around. And what like the difference is that you keep your momentum. And so like again, like just keeping your momentum is very important for being able to make plays on the ball. It like increases the area that the ball can be in for you to be able to make a play on it. But anyway, I spent way too long on that. Just a mechanics thing. We won't talk about that. I think your decision to challenge that was pretty good. I think I missed that. I think I could have scored that. Way too long in car cam. That's a mechanics thing, but again, like you kill all your momentum again here. Like I know it's a mechanics thing that you just whiff this ball, but the reason you whiff this ball is because you like well, it's not the reason, but a reason that played a factor in it is you killing all your momentum with this like power drift turn here, and then you're like have to just mash boost, and you're kind of like rushing at this in a mad panic, right? But instead of like driving back, so this is what you do: you drive back to the net, hard turn, and you lose all your momentum. Instead of that, just drive back, grab like this boost pad, right, and just come looping into the net. And you're keeping your momentum, and it just makes it easier for you to make plays on the ball. Right, take a wider turn here so you don't need to like drift and lose all your momentum. You can still drift, but just take a wider turn so you're conserving your momentum. Yeah, again, just like these little breaks, these fidgety breaks back and forth. All right, no bueno. This was savage. I remember this. This is why I had to review this replay. Let's watch that again. The double demo. How did this even happen? Calculated. It's fine, nice. I like your decision to go back here. And you actually take a pretty good approach here. So you notice like you take a wide angle to your goal here. So it's if you know I end up hitting this, but if they ended up shooting on it, you're gonna have a much easier time saving it because you conserve some of your momentum. Kind of an awkward spot here. Yeah, again, it's the same thing. Like, and I know this is an awkward spot, but as soon as you see this, like again, going back to the where is it? The fly cam here. Like you drive like this straight into the goal and try and turn around, and then you're like caught with no momentum as they're shooting it. But instead, drive to the side, right? And then you're coming in like this with momentum. Just again, increases the area of the ball that it can be in for you to be able to make a play on it. Fine to jump in at that when you're first man like that. It's no, not a problem. Like your job as first man there is just to force the ball to the teammate behind you. And nice goal. Like so again, this is I think you're being a pretty good first man here. Like don't be afraid to jump in at challenges at first man. You see that you have a pretty good chance to challenge. So even though you get beat completely, it's great. Like you're giving me a free ball, right? It's a good thing that you got beat completely and he just kind of like served me up a soft one here. This flip right here, I don't like either. You're flipping right at the moment of a potential 50 and you switch to car cam and you flip at the moment of a potential 50 in the air. Like, so you see me, I touch this and you see out of the corner of your eye the orange team member coming in to challenge, right? So you can only assume that he's going to jump up to try and hit this ball, but you flip away at the moment of impact. And so what happens is if he gets a touch like onto your side, you've already committed yourself to like the next half second of the rest of this flip, right, in a certain direction. Where you don't really need a speed boost here to be getting back. And you're getting a speed boost, but you don't really need it. And you're like committing to this flip path for like the next second, right? Where depending on where the 50 goes, or if I get dunked completely, like you might need to go somewhere else than on this direct line that this flip is taking you, and that half second, could make the difference. So just keep in mind, like on the moment of truth on the 50s, right? You need to stay grounded and be defensive. And this was good instincts here. Like your first man again, right? So not no harm done, like rushing in for some pressure or a challenge. And you smell blood in the water and you go get it. Cool. So first man here, your job is again pressure, maybe challenge, force the ball out. This jump is way too ambitious. Like you're way too far away here. Ends up working really well, but I think more often than not that's not going to work so well. So again, you start booking it back, right? And you just go straight into the goal and like do this drift turn and lose all your momentum, right? So it's just you're just making things really awkward for yourself. You're way too far away. Yeah, you put yourself in car cam, you get way too far away from the play, and then you lose all your momentum. Like those are basically the 3 bullet points here. Let me see if I can go back to fly cam here. Okay. What is this? I don't like this. Okay, like you need to stay like you're like here's a good distance, I think, but as soon as you make this distance longer, it's like a little bit too big. Like you flip away again, you should be like right here, maybe right now. You know, keeping an eye like on the play that's about to happen, like this cut in field to Ethanos, like you need to be in a position where you're close enough to like 50 a potential like pass middle, or at least, make them rush the shot or something. But what ends up happening is the ball kind of dribbles out to Ethanos, and he has all this time. Let me go to his view. He just has all this time and space, right? And you don't want him to have all that time and space, basically. And he makes a nice little follow up here. And again, like maybe if you didn't lose all your momentum when you turned around in the net, you might have been able to get here. But what ifs? Let's go back to your view here. The chess master. Your first man here. No need to be breaking in the middle of nowhere like that. It works out. You get a nice read on the ball. Breaking was fine there. You wanted to avoid bumping me. I appreciate it. Okay, that time you bumped me. Yeah, just no need to freak out. The ball's no threat here. You know, I have clear possession of this. Trust me to make a nice play. Nice. You end up getting a nice little dunk here though. Come behind me. It's fine. Getting your boost. So right here, like again, you're just giving them all the time and space in the world. And I know you're last man. Like I know it's scary, but like this strategy might like it. I guess it works in like gold or the lower ranks, because players aren't good enough to like make plays with time and space. But as soon as you start getting up in the ranks, like giving players time and space, that they'll be able to make a play and score on you more often than not. And so, like again, it's just this thing of you're just running back, right, in car cam, right, and then you just lose all your momentum in the middle of the net. The opponents are left with a bunch of time and space. You have drive. Okay, so like now, like as soon as you lost your momentum, right? There's really, I guess, like once you see me behind you, I guess it's fine to drive up. Because once I'm behind you, right, you can trust me to get this ball. So at least you waited for that moment, which is good. Little whiff from me there. You almost get the goal. That was a pretty good shot. Way too far away here. Pretty good spacing right now. Too close. So you just gotta like again like it's one of those things where at the lower ranks like I guess like you can expect the goalie to whiff this, but when you start moving up in the ranks like this type of play is just you're gonna get beat every time to it. Like the goalie's just closer to the ball than you, so he's always gonna beat you, and then it's a potential breakaway for the other team. You had you had good spacing for a moment there. Right here, like you just got the mid boost, right? You see I'm goal side to the ball, so I'm probably going to get like at least a decent 50. So no need to continue driving back. Right here, I think is good spacing. Right, you're well positioned mid for a 50 or like backboard wall touch that seems like has a good opportunity. But then you start drifting close, like way too close. Like you're just holding down drive. Like here, you're way too close. You're not gonna beat the goalie to this ball here. Well, I mean maybe like 1% of the time, but more often than not, you will not beat them. There's that turn again. Good. I think you have pretty good awareness on like the reason. First of all, like I think what a common pattern is with you is you're way too far away, right? So you're like shoot. and you just wait for me to come behind you, which I think is good. It's good that you wait for me to come behind you before you challenge. But that period of time where you're waiting for me to come behind you is way too long because you're so far away, if that makes sense, right? These guys should not have so much time and space here. And that doesn't mean like so what I'm saying, what I'm recommending is like you be closer. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should be challenging, right? Because I wouldn't be behind you yet, but you're just pressuring so that they don't have time and space to set up some sort of play, right? They don't have time to get the ball on, start a dribble, make a nice flick or something, or they don't have the time and or comfort to make good touches, right? They don't feel comfortable making like good touches. Okay, and I guess they just forfeit. Okay, so yeah, again, like I'm not trying to be hard on you or anything, but I think that the main things are just the spacing. Um, that I think a common pattern is you you're rotating back and you flip into car cam and you rotate way too far away from the play and you turn around, lose all your momentum, and you're kind of like stuck way too far from the play, and you just kind of waiting for me to come behind you before you, and which is good, wait for me to come behind you before you challenge. But that period of time where you have to wait for me to come behind you is way too long because you're just way too far from the play. Um, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, so I think maybe if you wanted to work on some mechanics, I'd probably just recommend working on shadow defense because maybe the reason you feel like you need to be so far away from the play is just because you're not comfortable, being last man a little bit closer to the play where you're pressuring but not challenging, right? You're kind of playing that shadow defense. So if you're more comfortable with shadow defense, you'll be more comfortable with not giving opponents time and space as last man. Well, anyway, hope this was helpful. Peace.